by a third. We want to take the cap off the net loss carry forward. And for those of you who have been small business people or are small business people and entrepreneurs, you know what that means. That means that you're going to be able to be more creative, more experimental. We're one of only 3 states in the nation that has that cap right now. It needs to come off. And for those of you who are involved in agriculture in particular, but for those of you who want to pass on the small business that you've spent your whole life creating to the next generation, we've got to do away with the inheritance tax, with the death tax. Because we all know, and we can all point to farms all across the state that have been sold because they were passed on from generation to generation, and the generation receiving that farm couldn't afford to pay the tax, and the only way they could afford to pay it is to sell the farm in the first place. It's counterintuitive, folks. That's government depriving people of the American dream, not empowering them to get to the American dream. And that's what Tom Corbett and I are all about. Making those changes, trying to bring some common sense, some discipline to government. But you know, you all know that. You're all on board. And you know how I know that? You know how I understand that you understand? It's because you send Scott Hutchinson to the House of Representatives. Because you send Mary Jo White to the state Senate. They get it. They're fighting the good fight all the time. The problem is they can't do it alone. Scott needs to be in the majority in the state House. Mary Jo needs an enhanced majority in the state Senate, if we can get it. But more importantly, they both need an executive who's going to work with them to achieve the goals that we just talked about. That's why Tom Corbett and his candidacy are so vitally important to the future of Pennsylvania. Tom will provide that leadership. He is, I often say that it's been 7 years of sizzle. It's been 7 years of cheesesteak eating, eagle pontificating, hey, I'm here, kind of, how you doing? Well, the sizzle's at an end. It's time for the substance. It's time for the steak. And that's what Tom Corbett's going to provide. The leadership. He's going to stand in a room and rationalize and deal with adults as an adult so that we get budgets passed on time and so that we can get our Pennsylvania back. So if you believe that things are going well and you believe that there's no need for a course correction and you want a third term for Ed Rendell, I got a candidacy for you and a fellow by the name of Honorado. But if you believe that we do need to change the way in which we do business in Harrisburg, if you believe, in fact, that we do need to change the way we do business in Washington, the best way you can send that message is by electing Tom Corbett governor and by sending Scott Hutchinson back to the State House and sending Mary Jo White to the State Senate and increasing the majorities for for both chambers. We can get it back, folks. We can make Pennsylvania once again a great place to live and to work and to raise our families and to grow old in. But it's going to require an incredible amount of effort. Because as we sit here today and think we're ahead in the polls, we've got more money, we're in great shape, let me just put one kernel of doubt in your mind that I hope will grow to a whole tree of doubt and will spur you on to greater action. Think about November of 2008, on election night. The pundits, not just on MSNBC, but on Fox, were saying, oh, I don't know, it looks pretty bad for the Republicans. Barack Obama swept the nation. They'll be in permanent minority status for the next 25 years. Then think just 12 short months later, November of 2009, the same pundits, this time on MSNBC, saying, the Republicans took Virginia. The Republicans took New Jersey. Oh, I don't know. It looks pretty bad for the Democrats. They're going to be in a permanent minority status for the next 20 years. Folks, things can change on a dime in politics. One day is an eternity. The harder we work, the better we should all feel about the result that we will all achieve together on November 2nd. but we can't let up, not for 1 minute, because the alternative is far too unthinkable to bring into a rational thought, that we would continue down the road of destruction, the road of, let's face it, creeping socialism that we are on right now. We've got to get our Pennsylvania back. We've got to get our nation back. Working together, we will do that. So I thank you for your attention, but what I'm going to do now is invite your questions, because I think that that's probably the best way for me to let you know where I am, where Tom Corbett is, on the issues that are important to you, rather than me just going through a laundry list of different things that we've been talking about in the campaign. Let's talk about the issues that are important to you. But I again want to thank the Venango County Republican Committee for the opportunity to stop and say hi. And as I said, I look forward to your questions.
Jim, you made a couple of points about shrinking your budget in Bucks County. What are some of the ways you did that we might work on here?
Oh, there are many. Starting with a zero-based budgeting approach to government. We went into every department in county government and said, prove to me that you need $1 in order to function. Don't tell me what you got last year in your budget, but prove to me that you need $1. And when you prove to me that you need $1, prove to me that you need $2 and $3. And eventually, you either run out of proof, and that money gets reprioritized to other places that does need additional revenue, or here's a novel idea, we send it back to the people who sent it to us in the first place. So we've been working in different ways in order to try to do that. Another thing that we did as well, and it's all self-analysis, really, is what we've been able to accomplish in holding the line and in making those budgets smaller. We impounded a group called BEX, Bucks Employees Saving Taxes. And what we do is we go through department by department and invite senior level management, mid-level management, and frontline employees to sit down, and we do an analysis of the way in which they do business and try to find ways in which we can be more efficient and cut costs, but continue to provide the same level of service that, again, the people of the county have grown to expect and deserve. And I'll give you one anecdotal, only because it sticks in my mind. The Recorder of Deeds office. There was one particular document that was Xeroxed, copied 3 times. The original was sent to the court. One was sent to the person who was filing it. One was sent to Harrisburg. And then another copy, or excuse me, the original was actually filed, obviously, with the Recorder of Deeds. And a copy went into that file as well of the same exact document. And we said, why do you put a copy in with the original? And they said, we don't know, it's just the way we've always done it. So by eliminating that one copy, our controller's office has estimated that we're saving in paper, in toner, in manpower, about $15,000 annually going forward. A substantial amount of money. And just one small area of the way in which, just taking a look at the way in which we do business and trying to do it more efficiently has been extremely successful for us. And being tough at the bargaining table, too. We have indeed, my able prompter just reminded me another way in which we did it is through innovations in technology, the same sort of innovations that we'd like to bring to Harrisburg as well.